So one of the things that hardly gets talked about postpartum is just how grimy and gross you can feel post-birth. So other moms out there, if you have given birth before, let me know in the comments if you can relate to what I'm talking about or that feeling that I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't know. For me, I just always felt like really, really gross after birth, and I've had 2 vaginal births and I've had 2 C-sections, so I feel like the feeling of grossness was a little bit more for my vaginal births. And of course, when you deliver a baby, all kinds of things come out of you after birth, like all kinds of things, right? So that kind of adds to it. Of course, if you've been in labor for a long time, you may have been hot, you may have been sweating, of course that adds to it as well. It's just a whole lot going on with your body and your hormones after birth. And for me, like that first shower postpartum was just it was just the best thing ever. Like regular showers, yes, are like great, of course, but the shower after birth, like that first shower that you finally get to take once your baby is delivered, and you're able to get up and walk again, or if you had an epidural, it's worn off. If you had a C-section, you're able to stand on your feet again, because you have sensation in your legs and stuff like that. So it's just such a glorious a glorious treat, I feel like. And nobody hardly ever talks about this. Like I've never heard people talk about just like, I don't know. Like for me, I feel like birth itself is kind of like an out of body experience. And I just feel like it stays that way until you take that first shower. Like I didn't feel like myself until I took that first shower. And with my first, I was in the hospital for a whole entire week. And there was almost like, I want to say like 5 days or so that I was not able to take a shower because, if you see my birth story, you can check that out where I talk about everything that happened in that birth. But it was a lot of things that happened, and I had to be hooked up to the IV for a really long time. And so because of that, I was not able to get into the shower because, they didn't want me to get the lines wet, and then they had to replace them and all of that stuff. And I'm a really hard stick as well. So once they got, the IV in and working, they were like, I couldn't take it off, or I couldn't get in the shower and get it wet. And I think one day, kind of towards the end, they did wrap it up, I think, and I was able to take a shower. I'm not really sure, but like I said, a long time had gone by because I was hooked up to the IV. I was on a lot of medication, and like it just wasn't, I was not physically able to take a shower. So once I was finally able to take a shower, it was just so amazing. And also with my first birth, with my daughter Saya, because she was a preemie baby, the NICU nursery gave me like this little mother's bag of treats. So it was like a well-sized stocked bag, and it had like body scrubs in there. It had like different kinds of like body wash. It had like candles. It had different kinds of lotions. I think it like chapstick. I think like a notepad to write on. Just like really, really cool, cutesy stuff, which I definitely appreciated because the whole experience was traumatic for me, and that kind of just made me feel, like Taishima again. It was so wonderful. And once I could take that shower and kind of like just wash off, not just wash off all the physical dirt and all that stuff, but kind of wash off that birthing experience, it was just like out of this world. So for my second birth, that was my first vaginal birth. That was a different experience as well because I had never, had a vaginal birth before. And I, finally achieved my vaginal birth. I got what I wanted, and my baby was healthy, no NICU stay for him and everything like that. So that shower was like kind of a reward also in a sense as well, because it was like, we did this, and again, I did it without an epidural. So I was able to shower as soon as I wanted to, I think, for my second, if I'm not mistaken. I was hooked up to an IV for 24 hours after birth. So yeah, after the IV came out and I didn't need it anymore, I could take my shower right away. And that again was really nice and wonderful. And the same thing for my third, and then the same thing for my fourth. So for my fourth, I did have to wait a little while because I did have some complications post-birth also as well. So my IV again had to stay in for a few days, longer than normal, and I had to wait a few days to take my shower. And I just remember like sweating so much. Like I sweat so much postpartum. Like even now I still sweat like a lot, and it's just like, it's one of the most annoying things postpartum for me. But I was just in, that hospital room, and obviously I took a shower probably like the morning I gave birth, or the morning we went in for my induction. And then it was a while too for that one. It wasn't like as long as my first, but it was some days that went by, and I was just in the bed like, I can't wait to get out this bed to take a shower. So, you know, once I was able to, now I did have a C-section with my last, so that itself was a little, you know, I just had to move a little bit slower and things like that in order to take a shower. But I still was able to take one by myself, and I didn't need any assistance. And again, it was just one of those, it's kind of like one of those mood booster things for me. Like, it just helps me to feel normal again. It's obviously one of those things that I can do only for myself and by myself. So it just makes me feel normal again after, you know, the whole pregnancy and the whole entire birth, and just, you know, everything that goes on with childbirth and just all the unpredictable things that go on. Taking a shower post-birth is like the best thing. It's the best shower you will ever take. So other moms out there, I want to know if you've had this experience also. Do you feel the same way about your first shower post-birth? I'm not really a bath person, so let me know if you're a bath person. Maybe that first bath that you get to take post-birth is really special to you. But yeah, for me, that shower is just like wonderful. And I think every time I probably stayed in there at least 20 to 30 minutes, you know. You gotta get in all the nooks and crannies and get all that birth stuff off of you. So yeah, I just want people to talk about this a little bit more, and hopefully I'm not alone in how I feel. But for me, it's glorious, and it's the start of just, I don't know, just having your body back to yourself a little bit again once you give birth. But if you're breastfeeding, then you might as well just throw that out the window until you're done breastfeeding. But let me know if you've also felt this way post-birth, like just that really grimy, icky, yucky feeling, and then after taking that shower, just feeling refreshed again. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to let your story be your power, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.